How you doing, everybody? This is Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks. The following video contains a screen recording of my weather app. I use this to check the current weather conditions when I go out, and I can check the forecasted conditions and check in on the sunset, sunrise, moon phase, the advanced precipitation, wind gauge. In the event that something extraordinary was to ever happen, I have this data recorded live. Following that, you'll see a screen recording of my onX app showing you the topography in the area that I am in for the day. I also track my movement. So again, in the event that something extraordinary was to happen and I felt the need to do so, I would share where I had tracked out through. Following that, I take a walk down a trail. I think I was on my way back to my vehicle and started engaging in a conversation about the population of Sasquatch. And I need to fill that void because I got off track. So my stance still stands the same as it did back in 2021. I don't feel there's a large population of Sasquatch in New York State. If there's a total of 50 Sasquatch in all of New York State, I would be surprised. I think they may be headed for extinction. That's my opinion.
You know, one of these days, hopefully the odds are in my favor for a full-on sighting. I'm not talking about a fleeting glimpse or some dark spot in the woods that my pixels decide to put in the right color to make it appear as if that it is something that it's not. And that's not to say that none of the blurry or unsure pictures are not Sasquatch. There's a good possibility that some of them are. Boy, it'd be nice to see some movement though. But, you know, hey, you gotta be in it to win it. So you gotta be out here. And don't give up on your ideas so quick either. You know, not saying you are, but you know, you come up with an idea and you think, boy, that's a great idea, and you go out and try it a couple times and it doesn't work. Don't give up on it. You know, give it another shot. Come back to it. Make sure it fits the location you're in and keep up the good fight, you know? I mean, yeah, a while back ago, I don't know, 2021, 2020, I don't think it was 2000. Make sure you can see behind me here. I don't think it was 2022. I can't zoom with that front-facing camera, but you know, I was speaking about the population of Sasquatch, and I just felt a responsibility to speak my mind, because at that time, the podcast that, you know, I was engaging in the chats, there was a lot of talk about breeding populations and how there had to have been, you know, somewhere around at least 5,000 to 10,000, and some folks were pretty adamant that, you know, we're looking at 200,000 or they can't be here. And God knows, you know, just so many people that head off into the woods around their home or their favorite area are getting blobsquatch pictures, you know, and well, so, you know, there's not really a hypothesis, an assumption that there's Sasquatch everywhere and that we just can't see them. And of course, you have the supernatural aspect where, you know, they're either living inside of a tree and can come out, or, you know, stepping in and out of a portal of some sort, which, you know, hey, I mean, what the hell do I know? I'll add something to that portal thing and then get back to the population. All right, look. When you see a bolt of lightning, what causes the thunder? It's the atmosphere colliding back upon itself after that massive amount of electricity separates it. So, recently there's been a lot of hype about this mega knock or super knock, or and some loud pops. I've seen videos where people have described a bright white flash and the Sasquatch disappeared. Okay, so without getting into a long rant, and this is, you know, I'm not supporting the hypothesis that there are portals, supernatural Sasquatch, cloaking, or any of that. I have not found any physical evidence, nor nobody's shown me vetted physical evidence of that. And I guess we all just need to have patience, right? Maybe that will be the case. I don't know. Keep up your good work. I'm not dissing on anybody. It just gets frustrating when you or anyone comes online talking like it's a sure thing. I've figured it out. Slam dunk. You know, everybody go back to what you were doing. Nothing to see here. It's all over with. So you got to leave some room for more work on that. That's all. And you would be received a lot better. I'll tell you that. Okay? Present your evidence or your hypothesis or your theory, but leave it open-ended. And make sure everybody knows it's open-ended and that you're still working on it. Okay. If a portal were to open in our atmosphere and something moved through it and then the portal closed, in my opinion, my hypothesis is that it may be very similar to a lightning bolt separating our atmosphere, causing a thunderous noise. That may be similar to the bright white flash or the loud bang, the thunder knock. Yes, there we go. Yeah, there you go, the thunder knock. Maybe, just maybe. All right, well, I'm not gonna bore you with this shaky back trail cam attempt with my iPhone being held with two old hands with old shoulders that are burning. We'll go over the film footage. We'll take the audio, run it through the spectrogram, see what we get. You know, I usually do a clip of the area. I usually run it through my weather app, show the current temperatures, the wind direction, and then I usually will, well, here recently, this year, when I do these quick jaunts into the woods, and with some other situations, I have gone on Onyx, and I set to map my movement. on tracker. And so then I'll show a little clip of where I went in and where I traveled and came back out. All the information that you can think to put together to put in a video could prove to be useful to somebody. So, you know, hey, I know I'm guilty of not really putting out much of nothing for quite some time now, and I have my reasons for that, and there are multiple reasons for that. It's not just because of the fact that I want to make sure that I do it right. I work hard for all this information. It's not easy to jaunt off into the woods like this, take a couple hours off from work that costs money, gas, time, and, you know, I want to be able to take all of the information that I have for each segment of time that I spend in the woods and make sure that I vet my information proper and that I can present it to you so that you can take it and use it in your investigation, okay? So if I'm showing notable sounds in a spectral view, well, that sound signature is there to be seen, and you may have a similar situation, or somebody else may, and be able to pull that information and say, hey, you know, I can match up to that, and hey, I'm gonna give that a shot. You know, if I incorporate that into what I was thinking about, that might produce a little more trace evidence. So, yeah, you know, and I love you, Joe. I tell you, buddy, I wish we could have got to been great friends, and I thought we were going to get to spend that time together this summer on that trail. And then, you know, but God bless you, brother. I hope you're as happy as a soul can be wherever you are. And God bless you all, and bless your journey through life. Amen.
Unfortunately, I'm not very good at articulating the words that I want to say. And so I would like to read an email that I sent to our friend Joe Snyder back on September 22nd, 2023. And it reads, Joe, super glad to hear you're back home. And I pray the good days outnumber the bad, brother. I have so much respect for you, Joe. Last year, I remember you frequently saying you wanted to get out into the woods more often, and so I filmed some lengthy stretches while walking around in the mountains for you to watch and just enjoy the view. I apologize for mentioning things in chat or live or on your show or anyone's show and then not posting the footage of what I mentioned during those conversations. Please forgive me. I was honored when you announced my name being placed on the Wall of Fame. I'm ashamed that I haven't posted the work that would make you proud to have made the decision to have my name up there. But I promise you, Joe, I have done what I have said I have done, and I have never lied. I have been learning to incorporate audio analyzation into each of the major investigations that I've spoke about publicly. I've been sharpening my skills in tracking, reading, and listening and learning from the people like you and others that are passionate for the truth. In short, I didn't want to screw up by posting a half-assed video and bring dishonor to your choice to place me on that wall. My absence of posting videos is a testimony to you placing me on that list and holding my feet to the fire. And I will continue to strive for the truth and maintain integrity. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your service to this country. And thank you for your friendship. Love you, brother. Jonathan Rafferty. Let's take a moment of silence for our friend Joe.
Look, I got the first picture. I got the first unblurred picture of Sasquatch. There is no blur to that picture. You can absolutely see that Sasquatch.
There's no blob squatch there.
That is not a blob squatch. That's not.
Seems very sociable as well.
And he's very sociable.
Yeah.
Yes. Very sociable.
That's a cool costume.
You need a Sasquatch costume, Dad.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody give that squatch some beef jerky.
All right, everybody. Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks. I'm here with Joe. Let me get a picture with you.
Hey
Joe
there.
from Western New York. Sasquatch.
Well, it's actually
you say it.
Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group.
There we go.
It's
a tongue
just
twister
as
for me.
long as the last name. Just a little different.
Excellent. It was good to see you, Joe.
Absolutely.
Great to
Get
be
in touch
here.
with me. I'd like
I
to
will.
get you on a show.
Absolutely.
So I have my iPhone 14 pressed against my thermal, held horizontally. I have the zoom on 2x to bring it in just a little. The idea is that if I'm to capture something with my thermal, a heat signature, that I also have live video capturing the same area, and then I can, quickly shift my phone to the thermal if needed. We've got the audio running. We're looking for sign. We've got the thermal. And the idea is to just go into a spot where you don't typically go and catch everything off guard. I've got all the equipment I need. I'm in and I'm out in a couple hours. Back to work. Wish me luck. Let's go down the creek. We're gonna follow the water. All right, so we've gotten down by the creek. Follow the water. Apparently, there's a large swamp out that way. This is very, very, very thick down in here, and that's what I like. A little bit of ambient noise makes it tougher for me to hear, but with the thick cover, the wind to my face, and some ambient noise, could get me closer to big game. So we came across ourselves a little bit of scat. As looks like could be a little den in there. Those yellowish droppings. They fit the description. Porcupine scat. Might be a nice little home for them, huh? Alright, so we're breaking off for the creek, and now we're gonna beeline for the other trail, so we can spend some time cutting through the woods. So I'd like to urge folks that possibly have tree stands for hunting or observing or whatever you may have a tree stand up for. If you're in Sasquatch territory or think you may be, check behind your stand. Anywhere from the stand back 200 yards or even better if you want to. And see if there's a possibility that forest material may have been manipulated, sort of kind of like a self-blind type thing. Freshly snapped, new growth. And drop a comment if you see such a thing, or take my email off my homepage and or my phone number and call me, text me, send me some pictures of what you got if you come across it. But let's move on. I'm gonna head towards the sound of that pop. Break the thermal out. Alright, interesting enough, we get up here to the top of this tiny ridge, and we were down in that area, down in there where the stand is, and we worked our way down to the creek, and right in there is where we heard what sounded like a hollow wood cluck, percussive, like you would think a tongue pop would sound like. Interesting enough, but nothing definitive. We get up here and we have a sign of movement, and leaves in the disturbed area from here out and around to here is, I'll put a measurement on it here in a second, but it's roughly 11 inches, and you can see where the leaf litter is kicked this way, which signifies the possibility that it pushed off, meaning it would be heading in that direction. Let's put a measurement to this first, and then we'll look for other sign. Alright, so I had to splice this into this video to explain the troubles that I was having presenting to you through this video the audio files that were captured
on November 15th up in the Bell Mountain area. I have captured sounds that are clean, and they sound like what others refer to as whoops, and a few of them are really good. Unfortunately, after I do the work on Audacity with my headphones on, these whoops sound really good, and some other associated sounds. But in order to put that material into this video, I had to screen record sections of my work on Audacity and then put them in this video, and they do not sound that great at all. So I could use some help. If somebody leaves a comment or wants to contact me and help me out how I can get the work I'm doing on Audacity put into a video and have it sound as clean and nice as it did through my earphones. But needless to say, I said that I would put this video out, and that's what I'm going to do. So I have screen recorded small clips of these sounds, and I will inject them in the between the clips in this video. Everything started to happen after I broke off the main trail and I hit that creek. I was messing around at the creek, and then I moved off the creek, started to head just at the foot of the mountain, found that porcupine scat. From that point, going up the hill to the tree stand, and then further up to the top of the hill where I heard some big mammal creature smashing through the woods, that's when all these sounds were taking place. All these whoops from the bottom of the mountain up to the top. I found the deer scrape and the scat, and I was pretty confident that that could have been, you know, the culprit for the smashing out through the woods. Made perfect sense. But once I analyzed the audio and heard those whoops, what was making the whoop sound? So I'm not so sure that it was a whitetail deer. I don't know what made those whoops. I didn't see it, and I didn't see the deer. I just saw a sign of deer. Very interesting, and I apologize for the audio clips quality being poor, but you can have a listen. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so pretty close. You know, we're looking at about we got movement. Something just went right through the trees up there. Broke a bunch of branches. Thermal out. Boy, you think you can see anything with that thermal. That's not the reality. I've thermed areas. Thought for sure there was nothing there and had 2-3 deer take right off. But if you can get a clear line of sight and you do have a decent thermal, there's no mistaking what's there. That there's heat there. it will show up. I find moving side to side changes your available range of vision and capturing something, so I usually don't stand right directly still. Alright, well, we'll see what happens. Alright. It just could have been just a branch, could have been in a tree, and simply broke, fell down through a couple other branches, and that's that. But alright, so we're looking at 11 by 6 ish. Oops. You know, full 5 or 6 in the back. This is not super fresh. Up where the toes would be, there's water droplets in the web. So this is not fresh, not super fresh. All right, well, I did steal a couple more minutes, to be honest with myself, and look for any other disturbances on the ground. And it brought up something that I'm sure many of you have thought of, but I wanted to share verbally, is there was a time I found what I feel has a pretty decent chance of being a Sasquatch Bigfoot track. And what was throwing me off is that I was looking for a sign of the trackway, but it was like 30 feet away where I saw that something jumped from one area all the way over to a swamp, the start of a swamp, landed in like a gully of sorts and broke through the ice and splashed mud all over the place. And then out further, another one. And these things are like 25, 30 feet apart. Yes, a deer can do that. But let's not forget that Bigfoot is pretty damn strong and agile. If the evidence for such is correct, it points towards they have fast twitch muscle mechanics, not slow twitch, fast twitch, meaning as big as they are, they can dart like a chipmunk and a squirrel, fast, like most wild animals. We found some signs of movement here. Minute sign of movement here. Those are about 7 feet apart and about 20-25 foot from the main push-off, if that is the case. I've been hearing more snapping and cracking up through there. I'll stop quick for this. Look at that. Nice scrape. Nice scrape. Decent buck too. Some deer droppings. Pretty decent size. Pretty decent size. Yeah. Yeah, he came right in here. Did his business. See everything, all the litter all kicked back in mud. So he's coming in from this direction, walking into his scrape, There's a damn good chance that that was the snapping and cracking that we heard. Good spot for a buck right up here on top. He has plenty of escape routes. He can catch wind. Good for him. Hope he lives another day.
Alright, so this first sound is at timestamp 1 minute 17, 1 hour 17 minutes 34 to 37 seconds. It was when I had discovered that porcupine scat, and I'm unsure of this focal. I've got it brought up, amplified, and I'm gonna loop it 3 times. Alright, the second sound starts at 1 hour 18 minutes and 57.5 seconds, comes in at about 600 hertz. It's a 3/4 second vocal or sound of some sort. Let's have a listen. I'll loop it 3 times. Okay, so the next one, our sound, is right here at 1 hour 19 minutes 35.4 seconds. It sounds like a whoop. I'm going to loop it 3 times. Alright, so our fourth sound, which sounds to me to be another whoop, comes in at 600, 700 hertz. It's a 1 second call. You're going to hear it right in here at 1 hour 19 minutes 48.5 seconds. I'll loop it 3 times. Alright, so I did a high pass filter, a low pass filter, and I've amplified and selected a loop of about 10 seconds. What we're going to listen to is off in the distance. It's a howl sounding call of some type of animal, be it a coyote, possibly a Sasquatch. I have no way of knowing. It comes in at around 600, 700 hertz. You can see the signature right here at my cursor. It's right in the middle. Starts at 1 hour, 20 minutes and 19.5 seconds. And goes on for about 3.5, 4 seconds as I can visually see it, but it also looks like it travels into where I start walking again. This is my sound here, so let's have a listen. I'll loop it 3 times. And for the next call, this is another what people refer to as a whoop. The call starts at 1 hour 22 minutes 49.5 seconds right in here. I've got it set to loop. We'll loop it 3 times, and I've amplified it just a tad. Let's have a listen.
Alright.
Okay, so this next one is something that I actually heard there when I was in the woods. It was like a water drop, a pop, a cluck sound, and I remember hearing it, and I mentioned it in the video, and I bookmarked it in my recorder as well, I do believe. So the sound, if you can see my cursor, is right here. Okay, 1 hour 22 minutes 10.7 seconds, and the sound comes in at around 1300 hertz. Again, it's very faint, and I'm not sure if it wasn't just something that my mouth did that made that pop sound, but we'll have a listen. Alright, and so our last sound. On site, when all of this was happening, the crashing through the brush that I heard, the disturbances in the ground, pretty much from the time I came from that creek, worked up the hill to the tree stand, and then continued up the mountain, that's when everything started to happen. And this, as I was trying to explain the impression on the ground, I heard sticks snapping and cracking. Listening to it here on Audacity, with headphones on, and it almost sounds like it could have been a projectile, but I don't know that for sure. I didn't see what made the sound. All I have is the sound. So let's have a listen.
We're looking at about, we're looking at about